The second part of today is going to be estimating. Estimating is very similar to rounding. In fact, it is the first step. First step of estimating is rounding. So you have to round two numbers this time, because the second step is adding or subtracting. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So they're going to give you two numbers, and they're going to give you something like this. 30, well, let's do it over here. 36.841 plus 23.162, and they're going to say estimate this. To estimate it, what do you have to do? Step one, round both numbers. So we got to round these two numbers. Now, if they do not tell you where to round to, if they don't say round to the nearest whole number or round to the nearest tenth or something like that, or the hundredth, always, always, always round to the nearest whole number. Or what place is that? The ones, nearest ones, which is the first number in front of the decimal. So let's round 36.841 to the nearest whole number. What number am I circling? 6. I look to my right. It's an 8. Is that greater than, less than, or equal to 5? Greater. So what does that 6 do? Goes up to a 7. Everything in front, everything behind it, turns into zeros. Do I need these zeros behind the decimal? No. In fact, I'll give you a suggestion today. Get in the habit of not doing that, because it's going to make it a lot easier when it comes to the problem. So 36.841 rounds to 37. Now I have to round the other one. What number am I rounding to on this one? What place is that? The whole number, which is what number?
3.
The 3. Same place. I look to my right. Is that greater than, less than, or equal to 5? Less than. So what does that 3 do? Stays the same. So if it stays the same, everything in front stays the same, everything behind it becomes zeros. Do I need these zeros behind decimal? No, let's get rid of them, because now the last thing you do once you have rounded these two numbers, very important, last thing is add or subtract. This particular problem, we're adding. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. So if I were to round these two numbers and then estimate it, estimating is round them, then add or subtract, my answer is going to be 60. Okay? Simple enough. If you've got the rounding part, you're going to round both numbers and then add or subtract. That's the difference between estimating and rounding. Rounding is taking one number and rounding it to a certain place value. Estimating is rounding two numbers and then adding or subtracting them. So let's try another one. One last one here. Okay, step number 1, what do I need to do? Which means, what is the step? Step number 1 when it comes to estimating, what do I have to do? Round, thank you. I need to round these two numbers. Where am I rounding it to? Step 1 is find the place. Where am I rounding? Whole number. What number is the whole number in my first problem? 3. Step number 2, look to my right. What number is to the right? 8. Is that greater than, less than, or equal to 5? Greater. Greater than 5 means that 3 does what? Turns into a 4. Everything in front, well, there's no numbers in front. Everything behind it, there's zeros, but they're behind the decimal, so I don't need to do it, right? I rounded the first number. Let's round the second number. What number am I rounding to? Which is what number? 7. I look to my right. Greater than, less than, or equal to 5? Less than. That's less than. That's 7. Stays the same. Everything in front stays the same. There's nothing there. Everything behind it turns into zeros, but they're behind the decimal, so I don't need to do anything. My last step when it comes to estimating is add them. What's 7 plus 4? There you go. I have so many people, do not do this. Do not do this. So many people that the first thing they do is come over here and add. 2 plus 4 is 6, and 6 plus 5 is 11, and 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10, and 7 plus 3 plus 1 is 11, and then they round this. Do not add and then round. That is not how you do it. Round first, then add. Okay? Now, one last thing when it comes to rounding. I have a lot of people, a lot of 5th graders, that look at the 3 and say, oh, 3 is less than 5, 3 stays the same. And 7 is less than, or is more than 5, so it goes up to an 8. Is that what you're doing here? Do not look at these numbers and determine whether they go up or down. It's the ones behind it. Be careful with that. Any questions? Perfect.